And the performances are something that someone wants to watch again. They don't necessarily know why, but they'll watch it again, and hopefully some of the themes that I work with will attract someone to understand it as they see it again and again. And I also like to put inside my films, with even as much darkness as they have, some odd situation that makes people laugh, either because they're uncomfortable or because the situation is so absurd that it's funny. I really like going back and forth between, oh, that's so sad, to that's really funny. But I just make weird stuff. I feel like I'm in the right direction. I've had more active projects in the past, where I've been creating narrative films, fiction, and at the point I'm at now, I've been finishing projects and starting new ones. So I'm kind of in a weird transition, and I also find myself coming to the end of a career in academia. Having been a student and then teaching for 6 years, I'm coming to the end of 10 years in higher education, and I'm looking forward to, this is my 10th year of being out of high school, and I find myself saying the next 10 years needs to be focused on the field and discipline of filmmaking, and making one film or making 10 films doesn't really matter. It's just I need to be creating work constantly, and sort of move from being a supervisor, move from being a facilitator, move from being an instructor to being a director, to being a creator, to being, what I've been studying and teaching, the auteur that any student filmmaker wants to be. I want to step comfortably into that role and into that position and make the films that have been gestating for the past 2 years and go there. One of the things that I learned when I was in film school with a peer friend of mine that made films that were really different from what I was trying to do was, there was this time when he came and said, look, I finally realized that you're never going to make films like I make them, and I'm never going to make films that you're going to make, and there's enough room in the world for both of us. And when he said that to me, I thought, that was how I always kind of approached it with my peers, was they're going to always be making stuff I would never make. And that's why I got to keep making what it is I do. And with my students, it's the same thing. I don't ever make the type of films my student makes. And I hope that they never do things that I would do just to do it because I do it. I guess there's a couple projects that really stand out. First being the 35mm film at the river that I got to shoot a summer ago. Visually, and the collaboration I had with the director of photography, Mark Mervis, was where I had been hoping to go towards, and it was a taste of what could be in my future, being able to work with 35mm anamorphic cameras with beautiful optics. The visuals in that were some of the most stellar images I've ever been able to edit with. Mediated definitely a high point in my filmmaking skills. From where I was when I wrote the piece to the different lives that it had, from principal photography to the special effects photography to the editing to the collaboration with the filmmakers I worked with on the principal photography and the post-production, and the actors I was fortunate to work with on that project. At every point, the project just got better for all their collaboration, and the end product was what I had hoped it would be, what I sort of crafted and structured the different shots to be. It came out that way, particularly in the end, and I'm really proud of that film. I'm also really excited by a documentary that was able to start last Christmas. I went home to New Orleans and got to see my family and one of my really good friends who lives and works in New Orleans on the SWAT team. And the piece that I've only scratched at, I've only made a 6-minute cut of 25 tapes worth of material. I love the film, and because the people in it I love so much. I'm really proud of that, and I'm certainly excited to revisit all those tapes and try and craft something that tells my family and my relationship to the city of New Orleans, as well as my friend's story. The documentary about my friend Jeff is something that emotionally, either moves me close to tears or just makes me smile, because, he was someone that I was with when I was in kindergarten. He was someone I was with first grade, sleepovers, hanging out, playing Atari, and watching Nightmare on Elm Street, way younger than I should have. Watching him tell his stories now about something as serious as the hurricane or Iraq just makes me think, one, we've grown up, and being a kid is no longer possible, and returning to that time is also impossible. But he's still here, I'm still here, and editing his footage or listening to his stories and listening to the way he tells, what his experience has been, really makes me emotional. I want to make films. I just want to make movies that people watch. I want to have movies, I don't want my films to change the world, because they're not going to. I don't want people to change their lives based on my movies. I just want to have perspective shift. I want to have people see things they hadn't seen before. I want my movies to talk about things that other people don't talk about, and I want people to laugh at the weird situations I've put in my movies.